maverickstar observatory. So you might read the title and understand what I'm talking about. You might have spotted it, or you may not. So first of all, hashtag bookcase in the background, you're full of shit. Yeah, spread that around, because you know what, you hear people talking about herd immunity, and when the government mentions such a word, right, they're talking about cattle herds, yeah, immunity, and we've heard that a lot in the UK and in other countries as well. But what I've noticed, and I'm a bit of a stickler for noticing things, yeah, is people coming on mainstream media, and the first thing you notice, guys, and you're going to notice this now, is there's a bookcase in the background. And what does that tell you? Okay, they want to tell you that they're well versed in knowledge and things like that, and that's why they're psychologically putting that bookcase in the background. But if they're that unconfident in their ability to know that they're intelligent, then they're just simply bullshitters. And that's why you get a plastic plant, bamboo plant from IKEA in my backgrounds, and not a bookcase. Yeah, so just pay attention to what I'm saying, you'll see that I'm right. You know, human behaviour is predictable, and what you're going to notice from me bringing this to your attention is how noticeable and predictable that is. And like I say, I've got a bit of an eye for these things. I mean, I remember driving in France when we was going to the Le Mans 24-hour race with a few friends, and I just spoke out in the car and said, have you noticed the pylons that carry the electricity across the fields are a lot different to ours here in the UK? And it was like a bit of silence in the car, and they said, well, why would you even notice such a thing? That's just me. I just noticed these things, and I've noticed, right, that there's a lot of insecure people that are coming on our mainstream media right now, talking about, you know, the subject obviously that everyone is thinking about right now, COVID-19, trying to be more professional than what they are. And I just think that, you know, we need to call them out on it, right? So if you've got a bookcase in your background, you're a bullshitter, clearly, and you're just trying to make yourself look more intelligent than what you actually are. And if you are doing that, then clearly you understand one thing about yourself, and that is you're not very intelligent, because if you need to do things like that to try and make people believe that you're intelligent, then you clearly know that you're not. So, hashtag bookcase in the background, you're full of shit. You know what? I do get pissed off a little bit, guys, and I apologise for the profanity in the video, but it's a case of, you know, you can't please everybody. We had someone on the channel, on the video that I put out this morning, complaining that you're always asking for money. Well, you know, that person can't be very bright if he doesn't understand that this is a publicly funded observatory, and we rely on funds in order to keep doing what we do. And you know what, a lot of people just don't understand that if you was to try and do what our observatory does, then you would soon realise that you would need a lot of money in order to do it if you didn't have the capability to do what we do here. And what I'm talking about is building bespoke equipment like the TriMag system, and our magnetometers are bespoke magnetometers that are in different places around our world, and all the other things. Yeah, you would very quickly find that if you want specific equipment built, then you've got to pay, first of all, designers to build it, manufacturers to build it, which includes tooling, things like that, programmers, electronic engineers. Before you know it, you know, you're up to £500,000 for a few bespoke bits of equipment. You know, we've delivered the TriMag, the magnetosphere sensors that are around the world, you know, state-of-the-art technology so that we can detect subatomic particles like muons, and you know, state-of-the-art technology using you know, specific sensors that measure accurately, like the Luminox sensor that measures accurately the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere. And we did at one point buy a CO2 meter so that we could take accurate readings of the CO2 in the atmosphere. The reason why we do this is because we try and, you know, reduce the amount of speculation we make, and we try and give you the facts, because that's if you've got facts in front of you, or you prefer speculation, then there's going to be a clear difference between the two, which is going to be right or wrong. You know, if it's me, I want facts based on, you know, evidence. So we've got the sensors, we've got the equipment, we can deliver that for you. And the problem is with the environment that we're in right now is that there's a lot of big organisations that aren't forthcoming with the information with regards to some of the anomalies which you're interested in, such as the magnetic pole reversal, which happens rarely when it goes through a completed reversal. Even if we're talking about excursions, the last one 12,000 years ago, no recorded data of the event as it happened, we do not have it. What we're doing here at the observatory is exactly that, and we have taken it upon ourselves to record this time around the event every 3 seconds. That's a lot of data, guys. You know, that's why you see when we put the data up on the website, there is hundreds of thousands of separate collected data points over the month. Now tomorrow we'll be doing that again. We'll give you the exact position of the magnetic North Pole, where it is, and we'll tell you what the magnetosphere strength is. Now, one of our superstars in Perth, Australia, has sent us some data really and told us that he has noted on the data, as do a lot of our superstars that understand what they're looking at, spotted an increase in the intensity over Perth, Australia. And that's interesting, because what that could mean is that that strong magnetic influence right now in that region of our Earth is creeping up on our sensor. That's why we selected Perth in the first place as a good place to put one of our magnetic field sensors, and that's why we're sending out a muon detector in the next week or so. We're desperately trying to get somebody to have one of our muon detectors in Brazil along with a magnetosphere sensor, and the reason for that is we've got then two good examples of a strong intensity and a weak intensity. This is something that you're not getting anywhere else on this planet with regards to the information on this event alone. We try and do a little bit more when we have the availability of the time, and that's why, you know, when we showed you in this morning's video that we put out there, that we tried to come up with some solutions to social distancing in having some equipment which could be easily transformed, like, you know, for your residential home or that care home or maybe on a hospital ward. We know that, you know, we can't always buy, you know, equipment to do that specific job, but if we can come up with smart ideas like making an adapter that you can use, a biological warfare filter which you can purchase for about £10, about $15, and then make an adapter for it, which I'll gladly share with you guys. You know, I'll give you the 3D printing STL file for it. You can print it off yourself, and then you can, if you want to, put this filter onto your vacuum and it'll filter the air within your house. Or, you know, if you've got a care home, you haven't got to buy £500 units. You can have 6 of these devices on probably the amount of vacuums you've got in there, and you can clean the air environment as well as the surfaces in that thingy, and it will save lives. You know, right now we've got a problem with human beings using logic. Here in the UK we've had the problem of being locked down for the last 7 weeks, and in that time, you know, the government hasn't said, okay, what we need to do is something that we locked down the country originally for, and that is we need to get back in their social arena. You know, we need to obviously work side by side, otherwise the economy is going to crash, and therefore we need to take measures and precautions. And that is, you know, what I'd have liked to hear. That is what I would have liked, you know, that our government to say, we have therefore took the initiative to manufacture the PPE, not just for the frontline staff, not just for people in care homes that are at risk, but for everybody. There has been no such announcements. What's happened is they seem to have argued over the fact that we locked the country down in the first place, and now they've realised it's damaging the economy, and guess what? Now the economy is going to come before health. And that isn't the solution to this problem. What we need to do is be protected in this social environment that we work naturally, as we do naturally, and wear protective clothing. I could show you a video, guys, but I'm sure you've got more things to do than your day, and if you are interested you can research how people deal with biological situations and how they wear the clothes. We're talking about hazmat suits, and we're trying to build a very cheap version of a hazmat that does the exact same but just protects the main vulnerable area, which is the head, the eyes, the nose, the ears and the mouth from COVID virus. And that means giving a positive fed air mask or visor to that person, because I'm telling you now, what we're still seeing our frontline staff wear is inadequate PPE. We need to do a lot better than that. We need to protect them first and foremost. You know, we've lost here in the UK 200 frontline staff as a result of poor PPE. What we need to do, and we can easily do this, is address the situation in a serious manner. We're dealing with a biological hazard, and it needs to be spoken as that, not just COVID-19, because a lot of people don't even believe that it's even a real virus. Can you believe that? I've got family members who are care workers in these care homes, and they have seen first-hand witness people die in front of them of COVID-19, and they have saw them struggling to breathe as a last resort of those last final minutes. This, first and foremost, you need to understand, is a real problem that we're facing globally. And secondly, we need to classify it as it is. This is a biological global catastrophe, and we need to also work as we normally do. And in doing that, we have to, interact in these close distances. We can't see trains with just 5 people on them, because that's not efficient. It's not going to keep the economy going, and vice versa with the aircraft and everything else. We need to develop solutions where we can get back to a natural way of life, and in doing that, in a safe manner. That's what we need to do, and that's what we're trying to do here at the observatory by spending a little extra time doing that. Now, we're not begging, we're asking for a bit of support. Frustratingly, we have seen, and this is, I don't understand the mentality of the people, we've seen people raise money for the NHS, and I wanted to say this right now: if you're living in the UK, use a bit of logical sense. The NHS is not a charity. The NHS is funded by the government, so if you raise money for the NHS, you are giving extra tax monies to the government pointlessly. The government are going to provide whatever is needed for the NHS. You don't need to raise money for the NHS. What you need to raise money for is some of them other worthwhile charities. I'm not saying that you have to, instead of give to the NHS, give to the maverickstar Observatory. No, please don't. There's so many more worthwhile charities out there that you can give to. But at the same time, we do need some support to continue doing what we do here. And I'm just hoping that, in this little video, which I'm not going to keep repeating myself, that you do appreciate the work which we undertake here and our effort that we're trying to offer people. And then there is that scientific part of what we do, which has been ongoing now for a good 9 to 10 years. We've been here a long time. And, what people need to understand is that it is a public observatory. That means it has to be funded publicly by the public. Guess what? It has to come from the public. If I start taking funding from some of these, government organisations, then I'm going to be penalised, and I'm going to be told exactly what I'm allowed to show you guys. And that is not where we want to go. We want to keep this as open as we can, so that the information comes as we collect it, even if it's not in line with where we want it to go. If you just give it out there as it is, then that is as it is. And I think that is what we want. We want to be treated like adults, because we are capable of making cognitive decisions based on logic. I just think that is the way we want to go forward. But you know what, guys? Hashtag bookcase in the background. You're full of shit. Guys, there is a link there if you want to support what we do at the observatory. It would be greatly appreciated, because as you can imagine, people have been distracted with all what's going on. It is having an effect financially here at the observatory, along with all the other things that we're having to deal with. But you know what? There's a link there if you want to help support us. And guess what? It's not mandatory. How's that? You know what? Those people that support, can do. Those people that can't afford it, we don't expect nothing from you. We still relay that information and that data to you, at least for now, while we can. and we want to continue keeping it that way. That's the way we've always done it here. So, you know, try and have a good day. But you know what, at the same time, just pay attention to the amount of people that come on the mainstream media with a bookcase in the background. Why is that? It's because they're full of BS. Okay, that's my rant. Have a good day, and I'll catch up with you soon. As always, bye for now.